Ongoing series Wounded City, we've taken a closer look at what's fueling crime in our region and possible solutions. Well, tonight we're going online. Whitney Miller shows us how crime that's spilling into the streets is starting with social media, and even a tech giant has taken notice of what's happening in the metro area.
I had to beg him to let me see him for the last time.
Typolia Peter says the last day of his son's life feels like a blur.
And that's really the only image I have except him in the casket.
His oldest son, his namesake, shot and killed in front of the former Highland Park apartment complex in Bogalusa. His father says his son was no angel, but he did not deserve to die.
The day he got killed, he was going to work to make a real good living for him and his family that he was finna have.
Typolia says he doesn't know what led to his son's death, but he does know it had something to do with social media.
Somebody came to me and said he was on the phone with somebody on IG or Facebook, talking to him. Kids will get on there, they'll say, well, I don't like you, this person, this, this and that. And, the person will react to it and they'll be like, okay, well, drop your location.
Violent crime isn't just spilling onto the streets from the virtual cloud here in Bogalusa, a town that only has roughly 10,000 people in it. It's happening across the region, across the state, and across the country.
You now see me, I'm blue checking it, 30,000 followers reflecting it. Do they really care who's watching as long as they keep checking it?
Patrick Young sees posts popping up online daily that suggest violence is on the horizon.
See, I'm not invisible. I told you, I showed you, I gave you a whole view. Breaking the internet, breaking news. See me, because I'm dying to be seen, even if it means I'm seen dying.
Not only is he a poet, he's the director of gun violence prevention for the city of New Orleans.
And you can see it where it accelerates from online to offline. Those arguments or those fights or those posts, it's not just entertainment, they turn deadly.
Young showed us several instances in which young children are online posing with guns and using language that should trigger a response from authorities.
But it's also 430 likes, and it's putting out publicly that I'm active in the streets.
And that means there's 400-something people who agree with this behavior. You're a parent, and you see this.
Right.
What goes through your head?
It's dangerous, but I mean, I'm more afraid if we hadn't started monitoring, if we hadn't started looking into social media. There's some people who want to say that this doesn't exist.
But Young says it does, and he believes the solution lies in intervention. It's why he's working with Meta to help law enforcement across the region get ahead of crime.
We can identify profiles that are highest at risk. We can intervene. And again, we can change those social norms and those behavior before it turns deadly offline.
Carly Eason works for Meta and helps to facilitate those trainings.
We're in an emerging age of the digital era, and that means that people's levels of familiarity with our platforms may, very much differ depending on age, where you're from, your interest in technology. So we understand that for a lot of these folks, you might have been a detective in law enforcement for 40 years, and you've never had to do a request for information to a technology company. It's a lot different than when you just go knock on the door.
Eason says, along with making sure law enforcement knows how to appropriately request data, they also learn about the different tools Meta offers to keep young people safe online. Things like parental blockers, block searches, and quiet mode settings.
We want to make sure that they're having healthy, positive experiences online, and a lot of that is through these tools.
Some kids are just scared, and they're frightened, and the things that they're seeing, again, on media and in television, it's giving them an escape to say this is the way out. And we have to give an alternative solution, a solution to how to deal with those feelings and emotions.
Young says it's when those emotions run high that we find ourselves in a deadly situation.
It's when kids are being frustrated and feeling embarrassed to where they don't feel they have an alternative that have to respond violently with guns. And so that's the main thing. I mean, we're gonna always have something. If it's not guns today, if it's not social media, it'll be something else. But as a community, we can be a peaceful community in spite of those things.
He hopes trainings like these and a willingness from all areas of the community will stop online posts from turning into real-world violence. In New Orleans, Whitney Miller, Eyewitness News.